Arsenal X, at around 1973, invented a terrifying nerve agent called RX-666. This is a specialized nerve agent that attacks the brain specifically to turn the individual it affects into a weapon. This causes individuals to become hyper-aggressive and have symptoms similar to rabies and zombification. On top of that, this RX-666 is capable of spreading like a virus within its life cycle due to bodily contact, turning it into a horrifying weapon of mass destruction. The reason why it has the number associated with it is because individuals who have been infected with this nerve agent have been said to start screaming obscenities, curses, things that are commonly said by individuals who are undergoing spiritual attacks, and to be haunted by images that can only be seen and described as hellish. RX-666, also known in full as Rabies Extreme 666, is said to have a hexagonal chemical pattern. 3 various hexagonal chemicals brought together to create 3 hexagonal chemical compounds. It is a terrifying and evil weapon that Arsenal X hopes to never ever use in anger or against individuals ever again. The first signs of Number 1. The first signs of this weapon are said to be sweating. The individuals begin to have overactive sweat glands and other fluid-producing glands start to become overactive. This does, however, exclude glands where this would inhibit the person's ability to function. This causes the individual to become dehydrated very quickly if not given water. Unfortunately, water only aggravates the side effects due to the easily spreadable nature of RX-666. Number 2. Within 10 minutes after the first stage, then comes paranoia and anxiety. This causes individuals to become very erratic in their emotions and to become hostile and anxious. They start to feel that everybody is coming after them and that nothing is safe, and they will grow more and more erratic and unreasonable. During this stage, any antidote starts to lose its chances of success in allowing the individual to survive with minimal long-term damage. Paranoia and anxiety start to multiply as time goes on and becomes more irreversible by the minute. Number 3. 25 minutes after the second stage, there comes motor control issues, where the individual starts to have trouble controlling their motor skills and cognitive functions. They won't be able to think clearly, and they will often become incredibly aggressive and hostile toward anything and everything around them. The worst part is that this RX-666 is said to also be passed by bodily fluid and attacks due to its long shelf life. This can literally become a terrifying zombie outbreak weapon, causing entire cities to crumble within the hour. 3.5. Individuals will be seen having tremors, uncontrollable shaking, weird awkward tics, and other such nervous system breakdowns. Individuals will become from a range of mute to uncontrollably loud. They will have unusual jerky movements and will seem almost possessed. They will start to babble nonsense, and their eyes will roll to the back of their head back and forth multiple times throughout this stage. Number 4. An additional 10 minutes after the third stage of symptoms comes the most terrifying and evil part of this weapon. This causes the individual to completely lose all sense of reality and to think of only one thing, and that is to kill. All rationality starts to break down, as this causes the individuals to fall into a blind rage and attack anything and everything around them. They will do everything they can to hurt and kill anyone and everything around them. They will use whatever tools or whatever they can get their hands on as a weapon. Their only goal is to kill and destroy. This is when rabies becomes extreme. Rabies Extreme, number 5. Rabies Extreme -666 then finally starts to initiate the death cycle. Around 7 minutes after the horrible death agent activates its 4th cycle of symptoms, the body of the individual starts to break down and the metabolic rate skyrockets. 5.5. This causes the individual to become overcome by hunger, and then they become ravenous, eating anything that they can get their hands on that is food. This will also mean that they will attack animals, pets, and other humans to eat. This causes the individual to become blinded by hunger and rage, and to kill and eat as much as possible to keep their body from dying. This will also give their bodies superhuman strength and agility due to other functions being shut down, allowing the body to focus more on survival. It turns people into animals. Number 6. After an hour after this last symptom cycle goes through, the body will then shut down non-essential functions before eventually succumbing to the effects of the weapon. Individuals will start to slow down immediately as parts of the body become inoperable, eventually bringing the body to the ground, and shortly after finally dying. You will notice immediate rot happening inside the body and outside the body as skin and other pieces of the body start to fall off. The individual will have a tortured few hours of death throughout this entire cycle of the weapon, and there's nothing that can be done to stop it. At this point, only God's divine grace can reverse this weapon. Nothing humanity can do can bring somebody back from this. If one bomb is dropped into a city, RX-666 is said to be able to completely destabilize and render a city incapacitated within a couple hours. Arsenal X has only made this weapon out of sheer accident, testing different nerve agents to see if they can strengthen their own people against them if ever used. Arsenal X does everything they can to not hurt people if they can help it, but unfortunately in these modern times more and more evil is afoot, and this is causing Arsenal X to make contingency weapons in the off chance that they ever have to be used as deterrents or defense. But it was said that this terrifying weapon came in a dream to one of the leading scientists behind the Nerve Agent Protection Program. The individual woke up very early in the morning and contacted his superiors immediately, telling them in extreme detail what the dream told him. This caused extreme concern, and Arsenal X and the organization was immediately put on high alert. And as a side note, guys, as Arsenal X, if a situation ever puts Arsenal X on high alert, that is a very, very bad thing. So the creation of this weapon and the breakthrough of it immediately put all of Arsenal X around the world into extremely high alert. After submitting his findings and proof of the dream's authenticity and legitimacy, this individual was temporarily put on medical leave and heavily scrutinized and observed to see if any external force was at work. At this time, he was also interrogated and put under a series of very rigorous and invasive tests to see if anything was wrong with him. After days of testing, they ended up finding that the individual was not affected by anything else, and that this dream proved to not be linked to anything else. The individual was allowed to return to work after a fortnight recovery program, giving him 2 weeks to recover and have a chance to rest and recuperate. After the fortnight recovery program, he was immediately ordered to create a serum to deactivate RX-666. 5 years later, a workable and effective antidote to this horrifying weapon was created, and individuals who this was tested on were shown to make acceptable recoveries despite suffering permanent side effects ranging from nerve damage, psychological trauma, motor skill deficiencies, and other various side effects including difficulty breathing, difficulty processing liquids, and such things. Arsenal X continues to try to make this serum more effective through the various stages of the RX-666 death cycle. This individual has been put under heavy watch and protection by Arsenal X because of other individuals wanting to get their hands on him. Sadly, he won't be able to return to a normal life because of this breakthrough, but he has proven his worth and shown his devotion to the betterment of humanity and Arsenal X. He has been given multiple rewards for showing his loyalty and humanity despite coming up with the most terrifying weapon in existence. Throughout his time after coming up with RX-666, the scientist has already come up with numerous nerve agent antidote serums that have proven to be phenomenal at deactivating the more commonly used nerve agents and bioweapons. Because of his amazing research, Arsenal X does plan within the 2030s to hopefully start giving out working antidote serums to militaries and hospital networks, so that way if any country or military uses chemical weapons, that there will be an antidote to help deactivate and destroy that weapon. He understands that his life won't go back to normal because of this, and he is happy to know that he has been able to make a difference and help Arsenal X move forward in development, both finding a weapon and a solution to that weapon and other weapons like it. RX-666 is currently guarded by the Night Stalker, as this is the only individual in Arsenal X that has the capability of keeping this horrifying weapon under lock and key. A large portion of Arsenal X was against this due to the Night Stalker's previous sinister tendencies, but after the Arbiter and the Sovereign Alpha talked with them and told them why, they relented and understood why that choice had to be made. But the Night Stalker has been ordered that if an overwhelming evil force does come from the world and is of sufficient danger and threat to Arsenal X, the Night Stalker is given permission to use RX-666 by any means necessary to pacify and destroy this threat. The Night Stalker is said to currently have a vial of this weapon in its body, as insurance in case itself or Arsenal X ever comes under heavy attack. And the Night Stalker has the antidote in its body as well, so that way if it ever makes a mistake, it can remedy its mistake instantly to avoid any long-term side effects. Let us hope that RX-666 will never ever have to be used in anger. On a side note, all individuals who were tested on by RX-666 had already been condemned by the rest of the world to the death sentence, and Arsenal X assimilated them secretly to use them as test subjects. Unfortunately for progression, sometimes a few eggs must be broken. Arsenal X has since then moved to animal analogs for further testing unless new death row inmates are initiated into the assimilation program. And don't worry, these individuals deserve everything that is coming to them. These are the worst of the worst people, the vilest of the vile. These are individuals who target children. And above all, these are the people that Arsenal X hates the most. Pedophilia and grooming is not tolerated by Arsenal X, and anyone that they see working in that area will be handled with the utmost prejudice. If this was on a nerve agent tier list, this would be SSS, the highest level nerve agent possible, because of its difficulty in being able to be handled by normal human standards. Arsenal X are the only individuals who are capable of stopping the first few stages before permanent damage starts to happen. Unfortunately, RX-666 is probably one of the most terrifying weapons to ever exist, and probably to ever exist in humanity's existence. The funny thing about this weapon is that it is said RX, which is usually put in as medicine. It's like your RX order is activated. Your RX order is ready to be picked up. And so considering that this weapon is called RX-666, it further proves just how terrifying this weapon really is, because for something, it has the same letters of medicine that's supposed to help you get better. But unfortunately, RX-666 is anything but medicine. It is like a scalpel that's used to cut out cancer. It's going to do a lot of damage in that area, but it gets rid of what needs to be done. Let's hope that Arsenal X never has to use this weapon.